Look who it is. Look who it is, baby. It's the host of Can't Silence the Lamb, Joshua Lamb here. Yeah, sorry that this is getting out a little late. Listen, I'm a busy man, all right? We'll get into some of the things that's been keeping me so busy. Want to get into a couple different things this week. It wasn't the normal week. All right, talking fantasy football, and some challenges came about this past week. And listen, a lot of things have been thrown my way. I moved. I'm looking for a new gym. I'm doing things. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I got all these moving pots. All right, I got fantasy football here. You know, a lot of different things that are on my mind. Right. So, yeah, is it Friday? Is it later than usual when I'm supposed to be putting these out? Yes. But let me tell you a little story. It has nothing to do with this situation, but it has everything to do with me clapping back on some motherfuckers that need it. All right? Because I'll play that shit now. All right? So like I said, I moved. New crib, new vibes. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back in the gym. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been back in the gym in a long time now. I mean, I was playing college football back in the day, and them motherfuckers just had me in the gym every single day. Just 2 days. Just getting my ass kicked. I'm fucking working out in the morning. Next thing you know, I'm working out again in the afternoon. I got to fucking practice in between. Listen, a little burnout. So sporadically over the last couple of years, I would get a little juicy. I'll pop up into the gym, enjoy it for a little bit. Then I would kind of get on a routine of going every once in a while, or like consistently, and then out of nowhere I would stop. Right? So new crib, new vibes. I was like, let me pop up in the gym, get right. You feel me? So I've decided to look around the area for some new gyms. Multiple gyms. I mean, there's Crunch, there's EOS, there's eSporta, there's LA Fitness, there's my fucking ass cheeks. I mean, there's so many different gyms. I mean, let's disregard the cheeks thing. I mean, those babies been working out now. Overtime, little squats, little lifts. Okay. But what I'm getting at is there's a lot of gyms, and I want to make sure that I choose the right one. All right. There's different aspects that you're looking for in a gym. You don't want it to be too crowded, but you don't want it to be too quiet. You want motivation, yet you don't want to feel, victimized by these motherfucking huge bodybuilder type people that are fucking taking all the weights. That's neither here nor there. What I'm getting at is there's multiple different things that go into choosing a gym. You're looking at the size. You're looking at the equipment. You're looking at, do they have a sauna, steam room, pool? The amenities are nice. And I will say this. I'm a sauna whore. If I got me a sauna, I'm feeling pretty good. So I decided, let me go check out this LA Fitness. It's probably the closest gym to me, right? So I was like, let's test out the one that's closest to me. I want this one to be my gym, right? And everybody knows that, there's probably cheaper gyms out there than LA Fitness. LA Fitness likes to sell that lifestyle. The LA lifestyle. You know what I mean? So they're usually a little bit more expensive than the other gyms like Crunch and EOS or whatever. So I was like, let me go check it out. See what the fucking the move is. See what the ambiance is like. So I show up today. It's my second day there, right? First day was good. The next morning, sore as hell. Took a little day off. I wasn't planning on it, but like I said, I'm a busy man now. So things kind of came up, and I had to skip the gym. Didn't like it. Won't happen again until it happens again. So I went today. Walk up in that gym, right? And I'm telling you, these motherfucking gym employees, they're like used car salesmen. I mean, I'm telling you, they will not sleep. They won't eat. And they definitely won't drink until you fucking sign your life away for a month at a time. I mean, it's out of hand. It's out of hand. So I walk in, and the guy's looking at me. and it's him and another employee, and then this older gentleman, right? I noticed right away he's wearing a Saints hat. The reason I say that, it comes back into play later on in the story. Walk up, guy's looking at me. He's like, wow, this guy seems lost. And I wasn't lost. But I know for a fact I'm not just walking in there. This is a membership deal. This is a trial situation. So they're probably counting fucking passes. They're doing all this shit. So I walk up and I look at him. The look of like, I need your help, sir. I need to make sure that I'm doing this right, sir. Right? He looks at me and says, you need to put your phone number in or something? I guess that's a way to get into the gym, without like your key card or whatever it may be. And I say, just this is my second day. This is my last day, actually, of the little free trial. Wasn't sure if I needed to like give you my name or my ID, whatever it may be. He's like, oh, you're not a member. And listen, this is music to this motherfucker's ears, right? You're not a member, huh? Well, let's change that, right? And I'm like, let's settle down now. Let's settle down, okay? And he says, well, why don't you want to just become a member here right now? Right here, right now. And I was like, honestly, man, just came into the area, want to check out a couple other gyms, right? He's like, can I ask you what other gyms you're looking for? Like, what other gyms you looking at, right? And he says to me, because I'm going to tell you right now, nothing beats the LA lifestyle. And I'm like, hold on there, corny, right? And I say to him, I'm looking at EOS, Crunch, there's a couple other ones around the area. And like I said, the older gentleman that was near in the Saints hat, I hear him chime in. And you want to know what this motherfucker says? He said, oh, he cheap now. I'm like, whoa! We ain't talking about price, bitch. I'm talking about, I need all these different factors to line up to make sure that I want to be where I want to be, right? And I'm like, whoa, this guy's chiming in. I don't like his tone. I don't like this old bitch's tone, right? So I disregard. I said, I'm not going to get involved right now. I'm going to have to lay my hands on a motherfucker, right? So I go back. I start talking to the guy, and he was like, let me tell you, you go back, you can go check all those places out. You can go check them out. But I'm telling you right now, once you come back, you'll realize why you're paying a little extra to work out here. I'm like, listen, bro, I could see me ending up being here. I enjoyed the first day. I'm like what I'm seeing, just veering into the gym area for the second day. But I'm gonna need to see it for myself. I can't just take your word. What? This is your manhood here. This is your life. You work here. Of course you want to boost sales. Of course you want to bring more business in. I can't just trust what you have to say, right? All this is going on while I'm thinking to myself about this old man that just chimed in and bust my chops. I'm like, you can't just be coming around busting my chops, not thinking that I'm going to give you a little clap back now, right? So while I was chatting, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, he was wearing a Saints hat. And this is a good thing about filming on Friday after the Thursday night games. I had a little ammunition to come back at him. Okay, right? I look at him, I say, Saints fan, huh? Tough game last night, huh? Woo! You should have saw his face. Fucking absolutely blistered. He couldn't even fathom. Because I'm telling you, it was about what? Probably 16 hours after the game. He finally got over it. You know, he's at the gym. He's working out all of his stress. And I had to bring it up. I said, ooh, tough game last night, huh? Oh, man. You don't want to chime in my conversations, making fucking rude comments. I'll slap you around. Give a damn how old you are, right? So I get back, and it's funny because I'm saying tough game last night, but I was betting on the Saints, so joke's on me. I had Alvin Kamara, Olave, Christian Kirk, were all playing last night for me. I got Olave in 2 leagues. I mean, I had a lot of stock in that motherfucker, right? But he doesn't know that. He doesn't know what I'm working with, right? Even though I did say later on, because the guy that I was talking to, the employee, I was like, don't get me wrong, though. Some of them Saints guys popped out for your boy. He was like, yeah, Michael Thomas got a touchdown. I was like, oh, trust me, I'll be in the podcast. He had no idea what I was talking about. Apparently, he's not one of my 30 subscribers. And if you're counting fucking subscribers, I'm about 2 off now. 2 off, about 28 now. All right, just 2 more. And we'll see what happens after this pod. So, let's get into the actual week. I just had to get that off my chest. Because if that old man's out there watching this right now, I mean, you can catch me outside now. Don't make me pull up on you and give you the old Daisy Dukes. Talking about cheap. I mean, I ain't going to spend $1,000 on a gym membership, don't get me wrong. I'll throw a quick 50 for it. Well, it's 50 nowadays. It's nothing. It's nothing in this fucking climate. It's stupid. Back in the day, $50 could get you fucking stock in McDonald's. I'm talking like the whole McDonald's. You would have the whole McDonald's to yourself. It'd be yours. Maybe. I don't know. So, let's get into the actual week. I mean, I'm 10 minutes in. We haven't talked a lick about fantasy. But listen, I enjoy me talking. So, let's get into the week. It was an odd week this past week. And it was a rare week. It's something that doesn't always happen. And it's something that if it does happen, you reflect and you think, why do I deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? Right? Because I find myself to be, grateful and optimistic and loving and caring and all these traits that you would think would amount to, good things to happen, right? And don't get me wrong, good things be happening. But I'm talking fantasy here. I mean, I'm throughout the week. I'm throwing out good affirmations. I'm saying hello to the neighbors. I'm saying how's the family. I'm checking in. I'm caring. I'm loving. I'm doing all these things, thinking that it might translate to a fucking win in fantasy football. I guess that's not how it works. I guess when Olave 2 weeks ago only put up 1.5 points, he didn't know that I was out here doing all these good deeds. He didn't know that I deserved a dub. Listen, I don't like to get too riled up. I'm already sweating in this motherfucking tie-dye. That's why I like wearing the tie-dye, though. You don't know what's going on. It could be part of the tie-dye. It could just be my sweats. So, going in last night, I was feeling good, right? And I'll tell you why I was feeling good. Because the week before, I'm not going to say it was my best weeks. But I've said it once, and I'll say it 1,000 times. It doesn't matter how many points you score. It matters that you score more points than your opponent. And I've been screwed a couple weeks, especially in my 112 team, where I've just been getting absolutely blitzed with just the most points the league has seen ever scored on somebody else. I'm not sure if that's correct. I don't know if the stats add up there, and I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate. But in my eyes, in my soul, it has to be, because I've never seen anything like it. And actually, last night it was finally recognized by the league that I was getting just fucking boned. The luck has been out the window. The luck's been non-existent. I've just been getting smacked, right? And every single week, I'm clawing, I'm climbing, I'm crawling in, trying to just get through the fucking couple days of just absolute turmoil, right? So looking back on this week, I didn't put up 140. I didn't put up 150. I didn't have like the best week, I didn't have something that I can hang my hat on of like I feel good about how I performed. How my squads performed, right? So let's get into the first league. The J-Chip Love Nuts going into this past week, 3-2. 3-2. I mean, I'm not super happy about the 3-2. I feel like I got robbed at least on one of those. I probably could have been 4-1. The team's looking stout. I'm looking stout. A whole bunch of different things were going on, and I felt pretty good about it, right? Other than Justin Jefferson getting thrown on IR, the squad was looking sturdy. Patrick Mahomes, Alvin Kamara, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, T.J. Hawkinson. Christian Kirk had to take over that flex spot because of Justin Jefferson. Of course, he was a wide receiver, fucking one. But Christian Kirk came in, did a little thing, right? You're probably thinking, okay, you listed some guys, you're missing somebody. Who'd you throw in there, Mr. Chips? All right. Going into this week, I was looking at Chicago and their running back situation. And listen, I know Chicago's offense is absolutely cheekies. And their running backs have been a little iffy. But the thing is, when you got Justin Fields back there who can tote that thing. Oh, excuse me. Jesus. When you have Justin Fields back there who can tote that thing, holes open up. They got to respect the run. Quarterback, if he goes to hand it, we got that DN that's whoever Justin Fields is reading, he's making sure that, like, oh, Justin Fields can take off right now. I can't crash in, go right to the running back, because if I do, Justin Fields out the back door and he's sliding for about 6'5", about sealed. All right? So, I think running backs in Chicago have opportunities for big holes, good runs, solid performance. They're not going to get a ton of dump-offs because Justin Fields, instead of dumping it off, he's just going to run the damn thing. So it's not super ideal, but looking at the backfield of this week, they didn't have nobody playing. Rashawn Johnson, concussion. Herbert, IR with an ankle. Travis Homer had like a damn hamstring situation going on. And looking back at last year, a name that came and became very fantasy relevant after Christian McCaffrey left the Panthers was that man, Deontay Foreman. And he did it the year before that for the Titans, backing up Derrick Henry whenever he was hurt. Deontay Foreman came in and had some good games. So I knew Deontay Foreman has been healthy scratches for the Bears, which I thought was a little crazy. I think Deontay Foreman's a good back, but he's been healthy scratches. So I finally think to myself, okay, there's nobody else. I could scoop up Deontay Foreman. I might be able to get a week out of him. Maybe even 2. We'll get into that. So I had Deontay Foreman go for that RB2 spot. Listen, it was a roller coaster of emotions watching that game. Because the kid looked good. I'm not going to lie to you. 65 yards on the ground. Had some good hard-nosed runs. Had a couple opportunities at the goal line that he couldn't capitalize on. Oh, my bitch. And who ended up getting in the damn... Oh, that Evans guy. He was a guy that I didn't even know existed on that squad. He comes in and starts taking carries and gets a tutty off of my boy Deontay. Deontay was toting that rock all the way down the field, and they give it to Evans for the tutty. I was sick to my stomach. Right? But looking at the squad... Patrick Mahomes, Alvin Kamara, Deontay Foreman, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, T.J. Hawkinson, Christian Kirk, Cowboys D, Aubrey from Dallas, the kicker, right? I was going against my good buddy, Joshua Mazel, right? And the kid has a good squad. Coming into this past week, he was 4-1. Top of his division. I'm second in mine because Ridge is just scraping by, just getting so lucky with these dubs. I'm scraping him in points, and he's just getting these easy dubs, just stinkers. Week after week, he's going against stinkers. Makes me sick, right? So Mazel has a good squad. He's a good squad. Jalen Hurts, Ramondre Stevenson, who I have in another league. That's always a problem. David Montgomery, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Evan Ingram, DJ Moore. And then on the bench, he has Jordan Addison. Bench is kind of cheeks. I'm not going to lie to you, Mazel. Bench is a little cheeks. But the team that he has, his starting lineup, Stevenson's been a little shaky. He's been shaky for me. David Montgomery's been great. Devontae Adams, a little iffy the last 2 weeks. CeeDee Lamb has been good. Evan Ingram's been good. DJ Moore, everybody knows he's been balling, right? Goes out there. Off rip, I think this was the 1 o'clock games, or it was the 4 o'clock games. One of the two. It was one of those options. Ramondre Stevenson gets hurt. David Montgomery gets hurt. And I'm like, ooh, that's a fucking tough break there, Mr. Mazel. That's a tough break. Because listen, I always want these players to stay healthy. I mean, it's fantasy football. If this is fantasy football, I would rather these guys to stay healthy, of course, right? There's no reason as a GM of my fantasy football team, I would rather take the L than watch another team just get riddled with injuries because, these are people that we're talking about, right? But I can't lie to you and say when I'm playing somebody and just so happen that their running back maybe tweaks the ankle a little bit and maybe have to be out a couple snaps, maybe even out for a quarter, maybe out for that goal line push, and he misses a touchdown. I'm not going to say that doesn't just fill me up with joy. And it does in a way. As a fantasy man, I mean, if you can sneak by because a little baby injuries, maybe a tweaked ankle, maybe the wrist hurts a little bit. I don't want anything astronomical to happen. But if a tweaked ankle or a sore rib keeps my opponent's guys out of the box score, listen. I don't want harm on nobody, but I also want some motherfucking doves. So, looking at his squad, David Montgomery ended up missing the rest of the game with some ribs. Some motherfucking ribs, right? He should be fine, which I'm happy to see, happy to hear. Only gets him 4 points. Devontae Adams had a shit game. 2 receptions, 29 yards, 4.9 points. CeeDee Lamb had a good game. 7 receptions, 117 yards. Evan Ingram had a solid game, 11 points. DJ Moore didn't do a damn thing until like the last couple drives. 5 catches, 51 yards, only 10 points. I mean, as long as he's not putting 49 on my head, I'm chilling. I'm Gucci, right? Jalen Hurts had a good game. Fucking gave him 20. Ramondre Stevenson, I benched him in 2 other leagues. I was like, bro, I have Deontay. I'm going to try Deontay out there and see if I can get some points from this guy, right? Of course, Stevenson goes out there and gets me 18 on the bench. Gives Mazel 18 on the starting list. It was tough. All right, looking at my squad. But real quick, Mazel, 95 points. An absolute stinker. And that's what I'm saying. I didn't put up the best numbers this week. But if my opponents are putting up stinkers, I got a shot. Right? Patrick Mahomes, 17. Alvin Kamara, 17.5. Amon motherfucking Brown. Amon motherfucking St. Brown goes out there, 12 catches, 124 yards, and a tutty for 30.5. I said, give me the goodies. Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra. Tell me that name is not meant for the WWE, right? Could have a future just based on the name. And if he likes how I say that, maybe he'll have me be the announcer for him when he's in the WWE. Amon-Ra. To me, how it sounds in my ears when I say it, I think it sounds so good. I don't know. Maybe it sounds like shit on the other end, but I think it sounds good. So, Puka Nacua, 4 catches, 26 yards. Butt cheek game. I mean, definitely a downer for my guy. TJ Hawkinson, 6 catches, 50 yards, 11 points. That's fine. I'll take it. Christian Kirk, he was a little slow off the start. Little slow. I wasn't liking what I was seeing from him. But to end up getting in the end zone, 3 catches, 49 yards, and a tutty. Gets me 14. Cowboys D, they've had a tough string of games, bro. They've been playing some studs, bro. They played San Fran, then they played the Chargers this past week. And I'm not going to drop the Cowboys D. It's just not going to happen. I'm sure everybody's waiting. Ooh, like Josh is going to drop the Cowboys D. He's going to drop the Cowboys D. I'm going to scoop them. Because I have some shit fucking players on my bench, and I'm going to scoop them up. It's not going to happen. I'm going to hold on to this Cowboys D because them boys are something special. Michael Parsons coming off the edge. I mean, our DBs are pretty locked down. Diggs. No, I'm not going to say R because I'm not really a Cowboys guy. But R as in my GM squad. Cowboys, us. They got me 6. Looking at my bench, this is a problem. Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss. I have no idea what the hell is going on here. Zach Moss, 2 weeks ago, gets me 30 on the pine. Jonathan Taylor didn't do a damn thing. This week, Jonathan Taylor gets 19 yards on the ground. Zach Moss gets 21 yards on the ground. But they were reception crazy. Jonathan Taylor, 5 catches, 46 yards. Zach Moss, 6 catches, 38 yards. He ends up getting in the end zone. Zach Moss, what the hell are we doing, bro? Jonathan Taylor is supposed to come in and be my savior. Jonathan Taylor, be my savior. I got him in 2 leagues. I can't have Zach Moss stealing all my points. I fucking grabbed him in this league. I took him in like the 3rd round. This was before all the bullshit happened. But now I got Zach Moss coming up here, stealing all my tutties. It's unacceptable. Jonathan Taylor, get your ass in the end zone. Because I'm telling you right now, you're going to be in the lineup. I have too much pride to take your ass out of the lineup now. Get in the end zone and give me some more points. Okay. Looking at the rest of the bench, don't really matter. Deontay Foreman, like I said, gets me 7.7. Wasn't the best start for your boy, but I end up stealing the dub 118-95. Listen, Mazel, you better come correct when you're coming at the J-Chip Love Nuts, because I'm a scratch and claw now. I'm a scratch and claw now. I can't just be having you come up in my house and only putting up a old 95 stinker. I need you to come correct, because I'm coming just a little bit more correct. Because like I said, 118 ain't nothing to put your hat on. It's a solid game. It's respectable enough to maybe sneak out a dub, which is what it did. So this league, I go to 4-2. I like it. I like where I'm standing in this league. Looking at the squad, I mean, I'm trying to make some moves, bro. I'm trying to make some moves. My buddies, I love my buddies in this league, bro. Some of the best guys I know. They don't know, or they don't want the trade conversations. Non-existent. Other than the fucking craziness that happened a couple weeks ago about the collusion, it's been non-existent. And it's infuriating, because I have some guys, some pieces that I want to translate into somebody else, but I can't get a response. When I get a response, it's 2 days later, games have already started, and I'm out of luck. It's infuriating, right? And I'm looking at you, T. Trevor Duke. You know what I'm looking at. And if you're watching, I'm looking right at you. Hopefully you're watching, and we're having a moment right now where I'm staring right in your soul. Because I know you see my text about what I want to do a couple trades now. I want them. Let me get them. And you'll see. I'm not going to say who it is yet, because I don't want to air out my dirty laundry yet regarding some of the guys I'm trying to get on my squad. Because next thing you know, people are going to start vulturing, putting out some offers. I don't want that. I want these players, and I want them now. Let me get them. So, looking at that, got the dub there. And because I waited to film till today, I got to see the Thursday night game, right? Where my boy Alvin Kamara goes off for 29 points. Don't forget the 0.3. 29.3, okay? But how did he get there? 29 points, that's hefty, baby. For a running back, you're probably thinking, wow, he must have gotten in the end zone at least once. And honestly, probably twice. Because probably twice, when you think about it, that's 12 points, 2 touchdowns. That's 17 points. That could be, what? That could be 100 yards on the ground with a couple catches, like for 40 yards, whatever. Whatever I'm saying. Whatever I need to say for you to understand that you probably think there's like 2 touchdowns thrown in there. No, not Alvin. I mean, there was a chance for him to get in the end zone. Didn't do it. 62 yards on the ground. A 2-point reception conversion for 2 points. That's delicious. I'll take that all day long. I'll take the extra 2 points, just a cherry on top. 91 receiving yards. This motherfucker is something through the air. And I wanted him in more leagues, and it's upsetting I only have him in one. I'm a little sis calling me. I'm going to have to decline you. Gonna have to decline you there, my little shithead. I love you. 91 yards through the air. I'm in PPR, baby boy. Baby girl, whoever's watching. 91 yards through the air. 12 motherfucking receptions. Oh my God. 12 catches. You're going to give me 12 catches? Oh, Alvin. I said it last podcast. If you keep juicing these scores for your boy, because last week he got 7 catches, and a couple weeks before he got me 13 catches. This isn't even his highest of the fucking year. 12 catches. He had 13 catches a couple weeks ago. I told you. You keep juicing up these motherfucking points and you carry me to a fucking chip. Ooh, Alvin Lamb. Whenever that is. Oh, Alvin Lamb. Ooh, that sucks. God, does that suck. But I'm going to do it. Because the catches that you've been putting on have been astounding. Absolutely astounding. All right? Keep it up. I love it. Christian Kirk was having a solid game. Next thing you know, he fumbles. And I'm like, oh, Lordy. Right? He had like 4 catches, 60 yards, something like that. 4 catches for like 50-something yards, whatever. Late in the game, 3 minutes to go, when I got some other Saints guys that I wanted to have the ball, give them a chance, maybe some fucking garbage time fucking tutties, whatever. Maybe some reception, maybe some yards. Christian Kirk takes one to the Kribski for about 35. Pops that fucking number up to about 19. 19 flat. Gives me 90 yards, 6 catches, and a tutty. Listen, Christian Kirk, you're new to the squad. And I've been loving what I'm seeing. I mean, the last couple weeks that I've had you, 14.5, 14, 19. The guy has been damn consistent. I mean, looking at the numbers the last couple weeks, man, since the second week, 22 points, 15.5, 16.5, 14.5, 14, 19. I mean, the guy is a teen man. The guy's just living in the teens. Got me that 22-pointer. He wasn't even on my team yet, but I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm loving it. Keep it up. All right? So going to my other leagues, but real quick, like I said, Alvin Kamara, 29, Christian Kirk, 19. That's the way you want to start a week. That's the way you want to start a week. If you're going to have some teams or some guys playing in that Thursday slot, the Thursday slot's a little iffy, man. Like you like to have some action. You like to be involved in the game. Like you want to have some guys that are playing just so it keeps you vigilant, keeps you on your toes when you're watching the game. But it could ruin your weekend, it could ruin the couple days, or it could make them. Because if you have some guys that ball for you on that Thursday night slate, and next thing you know, you're just set up just nice and prime for that Sunday games or that Monday games, whatever it may be, that's what you want. That's what you get. That's what gets you going in the morning now. All right? And that's what they did. So, looking at my other league, my 10 team, I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times throughout this podcast. You don't have to score 1,000 points. You just need to score more points than your opponent. And I played the old big kahuna this past week. Brock Purdy, Rachaad White, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Zach Ertz, Devontae Smith, Eagles D, Fairbarn Bernie, Houston. Goes out there. Purdy, stunk. Rachaad White, stunk. Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, stunk. CeeDee Lamb, solid. Zach Ertz, stunk. Devontae Smith, stunk. Eagles D, Fairbarn, solid. For a whopping 78 points. Listen. My opponent scores 78 points. I'm betting the house that I'm taking the dub. The whole damn house. Have it. If I lose, take my home. I'll be homeless. If I can't score more than 78 points, when my opponent scores 78 points, I can bet the house. Because I would rather be homeless than lose to somebody who only puts up 78 points. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting more than 78. So looking at the squad, Russell Wilson started off, shit, 6.9. Alexander Madison, sucked, 11.2. Deontay Foreman, I started him in this one too, 7.7. Buns. You're probably thinking, Josh, you're well on your way to being under 78. But listen, I got the motherfucking secret weapon. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek gets me 28.3. 6 catches, 163 yards, and a tutty. Garrett Wilson was looking good. 8 catches, 90 yards, 17. TJ Hawkinson, 11. Nico Collins had an okay game. Thought it was going to be a little bit better. 4 catches, 80 yards, 12 points. Saints D only gets me 6. Aubrey gets me 8. Got some guys on the pine that was playing pretty well. Ramondre Stevenson had to sit, 18 points. Chris Olave sat, 16.5. Cortland Sutton, 14.6. Josh Palmer, 10. I mean, the boys were looking pretty solid. All those added up to 108. I got them by 30. I took them down by 30. That's what I do. Big kahuna. You were the small kahuna this week. The small kahuna, man. I was the big kahuna. You understand? I'm the captain now. So, I like what I saw. But going into this next week, just looking at my squad, man. Just looking at my squad. And that's one thing as a GM. As a GM of a fantasy football team. Multiple teams. You got to look at your squads and you got to think, yes, is my record solid? Am I putting up good numbers? Sure. But compare them to the rest of your league. Compare them to the heavy hitters and think to yourself, can I really compete? Look at the heavy hitters and ask yourself, can I really compete? If I meet these motherfuckers in the championship game, can I win it? Right? And if you possibly can, I mean, there's always a chance, any given Sunday, right? But if you don't have a fighting chance, if you don't feel like, oh, I can take this guy, if you're feeling a little iffy, you got to go to the drawing board. You got to go to the drawing board. So, looking at my squad, Deshaun Watson's been butt, because that's been my quarterback that's been hurt. Russell Wilson's been butt. Ramondre Stevenson's been Alexander Madison's been Tyreek Hill's been a stud. Chris Olave's been solid. TJ Hawkinson's been solid. Garrett Wilson's been solid. Like, that's not going to cut it. If I want to chip, I need guys that are giving me Tyreek Hill numbers. I need Tyreek Hill numbers across the board. I got my boy Bobby, who has Adam Thielen. I mean, listen to this squad. I don't want to juice his grapes right now. If he's watching, he's probably going to be like, yeah, like, that's me. I fucking did that. That was me. I drafted this time. Like, this was my fucking great draft. Whatever. Right? He thinks he's the man for drafting this fucking draft. But to be honest, he picked up Pook on some waivers, so that was bullshit. Raheem Mostert has been having a fucking year because of just injuries, and A-Chain's out now. Jeff Wilson's gone. He's coming back now, but he was on IR. So Raheem Mostert's been a star. Cooper Kupp, he picked him up late. He got DeAndre Swift, who was non-existent until Gainwell got hurt. Adam Thielen has been the new Cooper Kupp. The guy has just hit on some draft picks. And I listen, if Bobby's out there listening to this wasn't research picks. This wasn't like, oh, like, I know this is going to happen. It just so happened these guys fell at this time. Probably the best left on the board. It's not like he took Adam Thielen early. It's not like he took Adam Thielen early. He drafted him. He didn't even draft him. This is another fucking waiver wire pickup. Oh, my God. And then he dropped him. He added him. Oh, no, he did draft him. Sorry, Bobby. The way that they had to maneuver was interesting. He drafted him 130th. Adam Thielen, who's been putting up MVP numbers. He's averaging 21.1 points. Third receiver in the league. Drafted him 130. Dropped him 10 days later. He didn't like him. Just so happened to get him a week later on. I don't know. This was before he was really putting up numbers. First week, he put up 3.2. Second week is when Rob grabbed him back and got him 20.4. Or I think he grabbed him after that 20.4 game. I thought it was a boom game. All he had was 7 catches, 54 yards, but he had a touchdown. Right? And then out of nowhere, 11 catches, 145 yards. Whatever. All I'm saying is I needed to make a couple moves if I'm going to go against some of these heavy hitters. That's just what it is. I mean, as a GM, you got to be able to understand and recognize your flaws, some of your lower tier players, your weaker links, and you got to make some moves. You got to make some maneuvers. So right now, I'm 4-2. I'm 4-2 after this past week. In my mind, early on in the season, if I have a good record, and there's some guys, of course, that have shittier records that are like scraping by, they're like, if I don't turn it around soon, playoffs are non-existent, right? So that's what I do. I start going into like those 2 and 4s, the 1 and 5s. I mean, shit, even like a 3 and 3 that like might have some buys coming up and know that they don't want to lose this week and go under, right? So I go to my boy Adam. Has a solid squad, has some good running backs. And I've been seeing some potential out of my boy Breece Hall. And I had him last year. He was fantastic until he got hurt. But he's on bye this week. He's on bye. He also has David Montgomery that's hurt, who's not playing. So he's starting Zach Moss, who should be losing more carries to Jonathan Taylor, and Craig Reynolds. I was like, okay, let me try to trade here. Let me see if I can get a solid running back, because Ramondre Stevenson, Alexander Madison. Ramondre Stevenson's been good. Madison's been consistent. I need more. I need blockbuster guys. Need them. And maybe Breece Hall can get there. I mean, I've liked what I saw the last 2 weeks. We'll see. But what I'm saying is, I end up trading Adam for Breece Hall. I trade him Alexander Madison and Joshua Palmer for Breece Hall. So now he's going to get a running back that is going to be able to play this week. I'm going to take a little bit of a hit on running backs because I won't have Alexander Madison, but Deontay Foreman, because Roschon's not playing again this week, I might have to play him again. We'll see what happens now. Joshua Palmer, I didn't love giving him up, but Breece Hall has more upside than Alexander Madison. The trade, honestly, the league probably wouldn't even have accepted the damn trade if I just did Alexander Madison for Breece Hall. I don't even think Adam would have gone for it, but I had to throw a little spiciness on that Joshua Palmer to get him. So I did it. I'm happy with what I did. So going into this week, I got Chris Olave and the Saints D. Chris Olave, man, it's tough, man. 12.7, it's solid. But if you watch the game, he could have had a monster game. He had 15 targets. Derek Carr is onions. I mean, if you're a Chris Olave owner, listen, let me rephrase that. If you're a Chris Olave, okay. If you're a Chris Olave manager, and you have multiple Chris Olaves in different leagues, a lot of stock in Mr. Chris Olave, and you watched last night's game, you're just physically ill to see 15 targets, and he had more targets than he had points. How do we do that? Derek Carr is throwing ducks out there. And to be honest, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Chris Olave and Derek Carr from a chemistry standpoint. They're fucking arguing left and right. And at one point, when they're down, they pan over to the sidelines. Derek Carr's in a fucking little like baby huddle with like Michael Thomas, Foster Moreau, I think that's how you say his name, who fucked up the game last night, and I think Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave was nowhere to be found. They're having like their own little powwow about how they're going to win the game, get down there and get some points. Chris Olave's nobody. What are we doing? I don't like that chemistry. We need to clean it up. 15 targets, 12.7 points. It's unacceptable. Love him. I think he's going to be turning it on. He's had double-digit targets in 5 of the 7 games. You got to love it. He's still been good. I just need better. He should be a fucking top 5 receiver this year with these targets. Guy's a stud. Right? So let's go to the final league. And this is where the league is getting a little interesting. This is where the league that I've gotten more points scored against me than anybody else in the league by like 200 points. Like, this is the league that people are like finally acknowledging the fact that I'm getting screwed over. It's sickening, right? But my team's solid, man. My team's solid. Last week, I'm rolling out. I mean, Geno Smith sucks, but Christian McCaffrey, Alexander Madison, Monroe St. Brown, Chris Olave, T.J. Hawkinson, Marquise Brown, and I got Zach Moss on the bench, Jeff Wilson, Joshua Palmer, Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I got some guys, right? I shouldn't be 2-4, right? So going into this next week, I was like, let me fucking switch up a couple things. Let's see what I can make happen, right? So a guy in the league, like I said, I don't know everybody in this league. So a guy in the league was trying to get rid of Devontae Adams. I was like, okay, I mean, I could rock with Devontae. I mean, this is the guy that can go and pop for 30. I mean, he popped for 42.2 already. 20 game, 15.5. Last 2 games have been iffy. He only had 8.5, and then he had 4.9 this past game. He's been trying to move him. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want to move him for? Right? So I started talking to him. He's like, how about Chris Olave and Zach Moss? I'm like, I don't really want to give up on Chris Olave. I don't want to give up on Chris Olave. I like Chris Olave, right? I say, how about Marquise Brown and Zach Moss? How's that sound? You like that? He goes for it. He liked it. And that's what we end up doing. So I get Zach Moss, who I think is going to start becoming less and less of a fantasy relevant guy, and Hollywood Brown, who I've been liking, don't get me wrong. But I'm taking Derek Carr over Joshua Dobbs, and the Saints offense is a little bit come on, baby, come on now. And the Saints offense is in my opinion a little bit better of an offense than the Arizona's offense. So I was like, I'm going to stick with Chris Olave over Marquise Brown. So I got Devontae Adams. So now I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, and Chris Olave on the flex with T.J. Hawkinson in the motherfucking tight end spot. Last week, Christian McCaffrey got a little banged up, all right? And I wasn't worried about it. But I've had guys in this league itching to get Christian McCaffrey, itching for him. And as you should. The guy's the number one fucking player in fantasy right now, I think. But I've been needing a quarterback, man. I had Geno Smith and Jared Goff. Jared Goff has been really, really solid. Don't get me wrong. But if I could get a star for CMC, I might have to pull the trigger. So my boy Trey comes to me. Wants CMC. And I said, bro, if you want CMC, it's going to be a haul. If you want CMC, you better come correct. Because this guy's something special. Right? I said, give me an offer. He comes back at me. CMC and Jared Goff for Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and Deebo Samuel. And I said, listen, really, all I'm giving you is Christian McCaffrey. When you think about it, I'm not going to be playing Geno Smith anymore because I'm going to have Justin Herbert. So really, I'm getting Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and Deebo Samuel for Christian McCaffrey. Austin Eckler's a PPR man. And one thing, and that's like the good thing, right? I know this isn't like super known knowledge, and I know this isn't something that's like expressed to the media, but if you can get a guy who's vocal about wanting to be good in fantasy football, usually, okay, what I'm trying to say is this. If you can get a guy who's actually expressed to the media that they want to succeed in fantasy football and be good for their fantasy managers, like, put a little bit more stock into them. They're actually wanting to be good for their fans, be good for their manager. Like, that's hard to come by. Austin Eckler has said over and over and over again, I'm going to get some touchdowns for my fantasy managers. Like, that's fucking beautiful. There's other guys out there. I think Lamar Jackson just came out this past week and said, I don't give a damn about your fantasy football team. I'm trying to win. Right? And that's fine. I respect that also. But the fact that Austin Eckler is trying to win, and you can say that the more Austin Eckler is getting the ball, the more better chance that the Chargers are going to win because he's a good player. You know what I mean? So you got to love that. So now, after I trade Marquise Brown, Zach Moss, and CMC away, I end up with Justin Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, T.J. Hawkinson, Chris Olave. I got Alexander Madison, Deontay Johnson, Jalen Warren, Joshua Palmer, Jared Goff, Deebo Samuel, and Jeff Wilson on the bench. I mean, the squad is looking money, baby. The squad's looking money. When you look at it, Jonathan Taylor can pop. Austin Eckler can pop. Amon-Ra St. Brown can pop. Devontae Adams can pop. T.J. Hawkinson can pop. Chris Olave can pop. Justin Herbert can pop. I mean, Justin Herbert is I think he's the number one quarterback right now on average points. On average a game. Don't get me wrong, Austin Eckler didn't have the best game this past week, but he still, how many catches did he have? He had 4 catches, 35 yards. He only had 10.2 points. His first game of the year, he goes ahead and puts up 26.5 and that was mostly on rushing. This guy is a PPR king, right? Christian McCaffrey, he's a little banged up. I think I made pretty well off on this trade, but I'm getting a little carried away on the whole trade situation. Let me just tell you a little about the actual recap of the week, right? He has Tua, Barkley, Damon Pierce, Ayuk, Gabe Davis, Ingram, Mike Evans, Ravens D, Patterson for a whopping 94 points. I'm going to make this quick because the video is getting a little long. They always are, but they're getting a little longer. My team, Geno Smith, 11 points. Christian McCaffrey. Oh, like I said, he put up only 94, right? 94. I can deal with 94, right? Geno Smith, 11 points. Christian McCaffrey, 14.2. Alexander Madison, 11.2. Amon-Ra St. Brown, baby, 30.4. Chris Olave, 16.6. TJ Hawkinson, 11. Chiefs D gave me that goodies, right? 16 points. Marquise Brown, 7.4. So you got 11. And if you're counting, and this is what I was saying, it's rare, all right? All you fantasy football managers are out there. All you fantasy football managers out there, if you can do a clean sweep on all your leagues, rally the fucking troops. It's time to hit the fucking town. Because what are we doing? I'm able to go out there, put up 125 and get the dub. I'm 3-0 on these motherfucking weeks, baby. Woo. It's tough to get a fucking clean sweep in this world. In anything. If you can sweep the fucking floor and get dub after dub after dub in a consistent time in that week, in that period, it's time to rally the fucking troops because we're going out. We're getting fucked up. We're getting fucked up. I'm telling you right now. Okay? So that's what we're working with. 3-0 on the week. And it's feeling damn good. God, does it feel good. God, does it feel good. So, know what you think. I mean, maybe even drop a comment. I don't fucking know. Shoot me a DM. Shoot me a Snapchat. Tell me if you think I got a little something on this trade now. Just let me know. So that'll pretty much do it. But I'm happy with what the team did. I'm 2-4 in this league. Like I said, I gotta make some waves, boy. I mean, and looking at the team that I'm playing right now, I should, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Right now, I mean, this is without. Yeah, that's right. So looking at it, I should have a pretty good chance of winning this week. He has Gibbs, Kareem Hunt, Nakua, Kendrick Bourne, Gerald Everett, Jacoby Myers, all starting with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. I feel bad for this guy. Justin Fields is out. Joe Mixon is on a bye. DeAndre Hopkins is on a bye. Kyron Williams is out. Like, he's missing a ton of his guys. I got to sneak this one out. It'll be massive for the program. Massive. So, pretty much ends my week. Pretty much ends this podcast. A lot of love for the people that have been viewing it. If you like it, I love you. If you don't like it, that's also fine. I enjoy it. And I enjoy everybody that fucking gives me some little bit of response. What do we got here? Got another update. Keep it updated for my people. But I love each and every one of you. I appreciate the love. Shoot me a little Snapchat here and there about what you think about what's going on with my team, what you think, what kind of moves I should make, the moves I shouldn't make, whatever it may be. But I appreciate it. Understand this is not your grandmother's fantasy football podcast, and you can't silence the lamb, baby. You just can't do it. But much love to everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and enjoy those Saturday games, enjoy those Sunday games, and let's get some motherfucking dubs now. Okay.